What would you do if you ran a machine shop for almost 20 years, but now some of your machines are getting older, a little outdated, a little worn down, and you're thinking about potentially calling it quits? Do you throw more money on the proverbial fire to try to fix your machines, or do you take on a very hefty amount of debt to replace them? What's up, guys? Ian Sandusky from Lakewood Machine and Tool, back here again for Practical Machinist. And today on Machine Shop Talk, we're going to be heading back into the Practical Machinist forums to help out a poster who came on with this question on their hands. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications below to make sure you never miss a video. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so as discussed today, we are going to be diving back into the Practical Machinist forums to help cover a question by someone who came on, and it's a situation that if you are in business long enough, is bound to crop up sooner than later. Before we get into this, I apologize, my voice doesn't sound very good. Getting over being sick, so I apologize if this isn't coming through very well. In any case, to quickly summarize the post that the person came on with, they have been running a machine shop for about 20 years, they said. They've been running on a low to no debt model. So in other words, they pay for things with cash. They try to keep their overhead low. They're not financing things. They have owned units, so they're not making payments. It's a great method of keeping your margins high. It's something we do here at Lakewood. We try not to finance anything if we don't have to, but it does lead to some complications like the one this poster is examining. The problem they've run into is that after this almost 20 years, a lot of the machines are starting to get old. They're starting to get very, very old. The poster says that they have everything from CNC mills to CNC lathes to wire EDM to plasma cutters. I think they have a laser as well. And the issue is that all these machines are getting very old, and none of their employees or themselves, it seems to trust these machines anymore to make good, accurate parts. They say they're spending a lot of money when they're doing a production run or even a prototype doing test pieces. So in other words, instead of putting one piece of material in a machine, programming it, running it, that job is done. Because they don't trust the machines, they're running 2, 3, 5 parts that are going in the scrap bin because they don't trust that it's going to come out right. This can be a huge issue. If you price something out to be one part and you have to make 5, the price is going to be skewed even if you're only shipping 1. As well, he said some of the stuff they're doing is very expensive material. So it all adds up very quickly and can completely blow your margin very quickly if you're not careful. The real crux of the issue is that they say that a lot of their machines are so old that neither they nor their employees trust that even if they got these machines refurbished, they would be any good. So, sending them out or bringing someone in to switch all the ball screws, change the spindle, whatever it is, they say they're just so old that they don't think that's going to fix the problem. And because they've run with no debt for so long, they're trying to figure out how they're going to replace these machines without taking on a lot of debt. They said that if they were to replace all their machines on the shop floor right now, they'd be taking on something like $1 to $2 million worth of debt, if not more. And that's a ton of money, especially for a company that runs on a no to low debt cost model. You can't get around. I feel this situation in my own shop because I deal with this as well. We have some newer machines as well, the newer mills, the newer lathes, the new live tooling lathe we just got. But some of it is old. We've been focusing on trying to add capacity versus replace machines. Because if I went and bought a new mill and took one of my older mills off the floor, yes, we're going to do better work. We're going to do things faster. We're going to be able to do stuff we didn't do before. But I'm losing that capacity from that old mill. Whereas if I add a second mill, maybe we just don't do the tight tolerance stuff in the old mills anymore. We got lots of that stuff. I feel like once you've been in business long enough, you feel like you never have enough machines. So the thought of just completely getting rid of a machine, it's hard. It's very hard to deal with. Our wire machine is old. We have two mills that are both very old. They're still good for some stuff, but I agree with him that you don't trust them like you used to. You know, with the new machines where you press a button and walk away. You gotta babysit them a bit more. And this can be a challenge. The problem also with the old machines is that sooner or later, you're gonna start throwing good money after bad. You know, I've done it. I've spent like $10,000 or more in a year fixing a 1995 mill. Because in my head, I say, I can either spend this money and fix it and keep the capacity, or what? I can't buy a new mill for 10 grand. I may not have 60 grand in the budget this year to put another small mill in. You know, it's eventually though, you are gonna start throwing good money after bad. Switching the spindle out, changing the gearbox. You're fixing something and dumping money into something that after a few years have gone by, instead of fixing that machine, you could have bought something brand new for cash. So it's a real issue. To get to the forum's answers here, because there were some very good answers here, there was one point that I really agreed with firstly, and that was somebody said, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I understand, and this person understood as well, why the original poster feels so overwhelmed. I got a shop full of machines that don't work. I got to spend millions of dollars. What do I do? Well, you don't have to do everything at once. This poster said, and I agree with them, why don't you choose the most used, best bang for your buck machine? Put that one in first. Replace that one machine. Focus on putting money away, you know, every month, every year, and go through your shop machine by machine until you have a new shop. You might still need to finance some stuff. You might need to do it slower than you wanted, but doing nothing isn't going to help. And taking on millions of dollars of debt, if you're not used to running with that model, can be a huge issue. So that's one suggestion. Like most things in life, trying to do everything at once means you're not doing everything well. You may not know what the good new machines are. Why not buy one, test it out? Do you know what? Actually, we should have got a bigger table on that. Well, now you know for the next machine. As opposed to having 10 machines, you look around and you go, I have 10 machines and none of them are really what I want. So there's a couple reasons why pacing it out a bit would be a good idea. The next point I thought was very important as well is to identify what the issue really is. Are the machines genuinely no good and the machinists there are rightfully not able to make good parts? That's a problem. And putting new machines on the floor would solve that problem. But is this actually a training issue? Is it a shop morale issue? Is it a shop culture issue? Listen, no matter what, you can't make good parts on bad machines, period. But if your shop is now so ingrained that, you know, guys aren't paying enough attention when they're setting things up because that's the first off, we'll do another. And now it's your shop's MO to do 2, 3, 4 parts to get one. That's the way your shop runs now. And if that's the real issue, you're gonna have the same issue now with millions of dollars of debt if you put new machines in. Because you haven't identified the actual crux of the issue, which is you have a training issue, you have a skill issue, or you have a shop culture issue. You know, scaling up a bad business doesn't make a good business. Scaling up a bad business just makes a bigger bad business. So while you should be examining new machines, you got to do it, you want to make sure that you're not going to end up in this exact same scenario 2, 3, 4 years down the road, because now your shop culture is ingrained in that we don't trust machines. We don't check things. We don't, whatever it is. You want to make sure you're actually dealing with the issue you have at hand and not just throwing money at it and hope it goes away. The last point I found important is that no matter what, you have to equip your shop properly to succeed. Old machines may have tool changers where it's 20 seconds chip to chip. The new ones are 2 seconds chip to chip. If you have good, reliable, well-maintained machines, no matter what, you're going to be able to do parts better, more cost effectively, more accurately. So I don't think there's an option here to do nothing. It's about how you approach this to make sure that you are enabling your team to succeed. You know, you can't do good parts in a bad machine. Like I've said 4 times here, I cannot state it enough. In any case, guys, I'd like to know in the comments below, have you ever had a situation like this on your hands? How would you help out this guy? What would you recommend that he does? You know, does he go buy 10 machines? Does he buy one? Should he close up shop? Let us know in the comments below. I would love to know. And as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications below to make sure you never miss a video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. You take care.